Good morning. Welcome to a continuation in the Defined by God Pebble in the Pond series of short videos. This particular series is on self-defense, and it's a very, very important topic and critical to Christians in particular. We live in a world of justification, and self-defense is all about justification under the law. But before I get to self-defense and break that down, we really need to get on self, because self is it's complex. And to be, when it's trying to be defined, there's all kinds of sayings. There's self-willed, be your true self, being yourself, selfish, that's your old self, self-centered, self-oriented, self-starter. So what does self mean? Let's just break it down letter by letter. S-E-L-F. Self. So S in self is just solely one's behavior or character. Solely one's behavior or character. Look to yourself, you've heard it said. I mean, there's just a lot of sayings and verbiage on self. E in self is and affecting the entire person of an individual. When you do something yourself, it affects your entire person. L in self is limiting. Self, not always, but like do it yourself, you limit outside advice, influence, or counsel. Relying on self. F in self is you, yourself, we have the final say. F is the final say on all decisions before we act on them. Verbally, physically, mentally, to feed a thought or whatever. Myself, himself, herself. So self is just solely affecting a person and limiting outside advice, influence, and counsel, always having the final say on all decisions. So that leads into self-defense. And in the Bible, of course, in the New Testament, which we live under, there is no self-defense. The word is not even in the Bible, New or Old Testament. The word defense is, and the word self is, but they don't put them together. What we have is a mingled, in the legal aspect of the laws of the United States of America. We have a mingled and convoluted mixture of, well, not all of them are convoluted. Actually, they're godly, most of our laws. But what we've taken is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and that self-defense ideology justified to defend life, liberty, and freedom to mean we can, or you can, either or take one's life in defense, in self-defense of your own life, limb, freedom, so on. And then the courts decide whether you've acted in self-defense. So now that riots are going and things are going, and the pot of racism is being stirred, fanaticals on both spectrums of the sinfulness, because it's all about sin. There's no right or left. It's either godly or ungodly to me. It's either sin or it's not a sin. There are no gray areas in the Bible, and self-defense is one of those, but it's highly gray in the churches. I know many, 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 many churches that are loaded to the teeth with guns and willing and ready to use them, thinking they're justified before God to do so. I'm torn. Yes, I have guns. We've hunted and shoot for fun and all those all through the years. I was a Marine, trained in jungle warfare for Vietnam. Know how to kill with my hands as well as weaponry. Pretty good shot. But for what purpose? Not for the killing of fellow human beings and brothers and sisters. And that might be the key to self-defense. Do you and I have the right to kill? Right? We have 10 commandments. One of them, obviously, says, "Thou shalt not kill." Now, many people have changed that to "Thou shalt not murder." But that's not what my King James Bible reads. And I don't leave the Bible. I don't go to commentaries and opinions and all those things. So, as we go over this self-defense, keep in mind, pacifism, meaning you're very passive and you practice it. You do not retaliate. You turn the other cheek. When people do harm and rebuke you and hurt you, and even under martyrdom, you do not kick, scream, fight, kill as many as you can before you go out. In the Bible. I'm speaking of the Bible. And we're going to go over in detail what that encompasses and how that would affect you spiritually. The precedents it sets for your family, friends, and neighbors. Do we have the right to kill other people? Do you have a right to self-defense? Biblically first. And then we'll get into United States citizenship and under the laws, let's live. Okay, so the time's about used up. I'm trying to keep them short. So we'll just go into the very first self-defense breakdown on an anagram, S. And we kind of hit on it as being solely one's behavior or character, right? But now we're going to apply it to self-defense in particular. So solely, that is yourself acting in a defensive way, even unto deadly force, or for you in a group. You could all self-defense can occur in a group, and then let's say there's 4 or 5 of you, and then as a group you decide to act in self-defense for whatever circumstances prevail. And so we're going to go over some scriptures in that in the next one, because there are several covenants that the people of God came under, about 7 to be exact, and we are under the covenant of Jesus Christ, right? The New Testament. Those who profess Christianity. We do not practice the Mosaic law, statutes, and ordinances, and penalties parts of that law, because they were nailed to the cross, as it says in the New Testament. The Sabbath is a good point. We rest on the Sabbath, because Sabbath was made the man to rest, but if there's a donkey in the ditch, we take care of it. But in the Old Testament law, if you traveled 29 steps on the Sabbath, you were stoned. Those extra statutes, ordinances, penalties were done away with in Christ. That's just a little example. So, hold the thought. We'll go into it on the next one. Examine self-defense for yourself. Examine what you would do. Examine where your beliefs are on the act of self-defense unto deadly force and the killing of another human being. And I'll be with you next time. Good day.